What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Underdog Sports Podcast. I am your host, Nolan Skeen, alongside Antonio Fiore and Sal Lestrina. Gentlemen, you're both on your phones. What's going on?
What's new?
I'm still here, fellas.
Antonio's always on his phone to start the podcast.
You really are.
We got to get out of the way.
What?
I said we just got to get it out of the way, you know.
Get what out of the way?
Let everyone know.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna go football heavy today.
Solid week of football.
We're celebrating the end of the season because this weekend is the last Sunday that we have a full slate of games until the playoffs.
Very sad.
Very sad, but also exciting. It's
like a funeral.
No, I don't think it's. No, it's not. It's not. But excited for the playoffs. Not excited that football is gonna be gone. But
Just think about like our whole month of August. I feel like the month of August is basically just me wanting football so bad, and that's all I think about every day.
I feel like
And
every month
then we're
that
here.
there's no football, I'm like that.
That's a great point. But then like August, it's like you can
it's like
touch
right
it.
there, yeah.
And then we're here, and we're like, I'm so pumped for the playoffs, but
At the same time, I don't want to go without football.
yeah,
do agree.
can't watch
agree.
football all day on a Sunday anymore. Or this will be our last.
Yeah,
shot of the
Sundays
year.
are so bad without football. It's like, what am I supposed to do all day?
What am I supposed to do?
Even like the one in between the championship weekend and the Super Bowl, you're like,
Oh, the Pro
so
Bowl.
This is what it's gonna be like.
You're like the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, we get a dose of what it's gonna be like, and I don't like it.
I don't like it.
And then when Super Bowl Sunday comes, you're like, yeah. And then that next week, you're like, fuck.
You're like,
Oh
wow.
yeah, it takes like 2 months for you to really get used to it.
I mean, I'm just gonna be going hockey heavy.
Hockey and
I
basketball.
mean, yeah, hockey and basketball will always be there, but
It's not the same.
I don't like
no, it's
basketball.
not. Once baseball comes around, that's when I'm fully distracted.
Can we talk about our favorite team in the world?
The Buccaneers.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They
They had a chance.
they lost.
They had a
You know,
shot.
They
They had a chance.
they had to lose at some point.
It's just so heartbreaking to see Jameis lose like that. Because I thought
Yeah, that
he got all of his interceptions out of the way, all four of them,
all four.
and at the end
Yeah,
of the
he got his
game,
yards too.
at the end of the game, he had 2 chances to lead his team down for a touchdown, and both times. Well, all right, one time it wasn't his fault because his tight end dropped the pass on 4th down, so I'll give him a break on that one. But second time, didn't he? He did throw a pick at the last drive though, didn't he? So he did not get all of his. He did not get all of his interceptions out of the way. He still wanted to throw one more.
It also sucks that 2 of the best receivers in football just weren't there.
I'll give him credit. I'm not going to say Houston's the best defense in the world, but in a spot where Houston needed to win the game,
Houston has the best, worst defense I've ever seen.
I
the best
think,
terrible defense ever.
I think after his early game jitters, which he always had, he played a okay game for Jameis. So I'm not, especially without his top 2 weapons, I think he did all right.
So that's where we wanted to start. The Buccaneers.
I mean, it's our team.
I mean, okay. I'm not, shying away.
It was the first game Saturday too. Deshaun played pretty average. I wouldn't say he did
I
anything
kind of
spectacular.
forgot about it there for a minute, and then I was like, oh, hey, football's on, and I forgot. I was looking forward to the Patriots game, which I think we should talk about.
Yeah, I mean, at
next.
that one point last week, one of those days, I was like, wow, Pats play Saturday? That's
it's
That's
weird.
nice.
It's always
But they
weird
were on
when-
NFL Network. That sucks. Like, if you don't have NFL Network, I mean, I was able to watch the game, but if you don't and you live in New England,
it
you wanna
kinda
kill
stinks.
yourself.
Yeah,
Find a Reddit thread somewhere
somewhere.
to find the stream of the game.
If you want a virus, but to also watch the stream, go to
Reddit. But yeah, no, I think that why not just put it on NBC? They all share the TV contracts anyway.
It's got to be something political.
Yeah, the NFL needs some sort of grabber to get people to buy this TV station.
Great throwback performance by Mr. Thomas Edward Brady.
Yeah, he played a really nice game.
I don't really have any gripes with the Patriots' performance as I normally do, and I'm normally very hard on Sony Michel, but I think Sony actually played a very good game.
So there's one thing that I realized watching that game is Rex Burkhead is such a better running back than Sony Michel is.
So I had a discussion with one of my friends about this. I think you're going to see a lot of Rex Burkhead in the playoffs, and I think they're saving
I
it.
think that game was a tryout between those two of them.
So I think what they're going to end up doing is they're going to have a lot of Rex Burkhead on the field because you don't know whether you're running or passing. Obviously, if Sony's out there, you're probably running.
You're most definitely running because he cannot catch.
And James White out there, it's automatic pass. So at that point, it's like they got to kind of mix up their looks for what they're.
And N'Keal Harry looked really good as well.
Harry's been looking a lot better. Sanu still looks kind of not a fully functioning member of the offense, but he's still got another week to kind of get adjusted, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs with him. But it's kind of coming around. They just got to get everything flowing for, going to the playoffs and having all their momentum. So
Yeah, and they're going to beat up on Miami this weekend because
you would presume so.
they want that first round bye.
I think I would say there's almost no chance that they lose, but this is the NFL. And
When they
anything
played
on
Miami
Sunday.
last year, there was almost no chance that they were losing.
That's why
that.
I'm saying you got to be careful. You can't sleep on any team. So I don't
And
know.
hey, man, Miami's been looking good.
They've been playing very good the last month and a half. Speaking of Miami, they broke my heart. Cincinnati was my lock of the decade. Was not looking good the whole game. They were down 15 with 30 seconds left. Scored a touchdown, got an onside kick. Scored another touchdown with no time left on the clock. Got the 2-point conversion. All for nothing, just to lose in overtime with no time on the clock.
Yeah, so I was watching the game, and it was, 31 to 15 or 30-something to 15, and I looked away or went somewhere else, and I came back, and it was tied. And they were about to go to overtime. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on.
It was a crazy game. It was a really crazy game.
I know. I missed the crazy part of it.
I thought at no point during the game did they have it. I'm not going to say they had no chance to win, but once they were down, I think 21-3, I was like, this game's over. Like, they're going to get smoked. And then they didn't really even hang around. It was just kind of like right at the end, they kind of put everything together, which I thought against that defense, they could move the ball really easily. I just didn't see them giving up 31 points to Miami. That was the atrocious part.
Well, it ended up being 38-38, right?
It was 34-31, I believe, because they hit the last second field goal in overtime.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 38, but
It's a loud game for two shit teams.
Right?
I know, right? Like, I
38-35.
never expect Miami to score that many points.
Oh, so they were down 16. So they were down like 35-19. So then it was 38-35.
Notable to point out, we have Packers and Vikings are currently happening while we're recording this. It's 10-9 at the start of the half right now, and Kirk is 4 for 12 with 39 yards.
This
so
game
he's
is
off to a great start.
This game is
But-
gross so
Yeah, it's
far.
kind of nasty so far. I've been saying it's going to be a 15-13 win for Packers,
We expect nothing less from Kirk Cousins in primetime.
or just a primetime football game,
especially Monday Night Football.
as he walks off the field once again.
Yeah, but back to the Miami game, Cincinnati secures the number 1 pick with that. So
Which they were putting up a fight, but
Burrow
Yeah, sounds like Burrow's going to be the guy.
yeah.
I really don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Burrow's been dominant this year. I don't think you can take anyone but him, honestly. I don't think there's
Even if Tua was healthy, I still think Burrow goes before Tua. I don't see what everyone else sees in Tua. It's just another Alabama quarterback to me. And we can go way back to figure out when the last time an Alabama quarterback actually worked out in the NFL.
I understand and totally agree that the Bengals should take either Tua or Burrow or whoever. I just don't like Burrow going to like a team like that.
No, I totally get that. But Trevor Lawrence is going to be in the draft next year. So if I can avoid him going to Cincinnati with Burrow going to Cincinnati, I'm fine with that.
Is Trevor Lawrence your son?
Like, he could be.
Yeah, is he like your dad or something?
I just like a player that's so fun to watch in college. I don't want to see him to go to like a shit organization or play for some boring
That's
team.
the same reasons why I don't want Joe Burrow going to the Bengals.
I don't think there's any way that Cincinnati is dumb enough to pass on Joe Burrow.
Yeah, well, the last time they took a quarterback with the first overall pick, it worked out. They
was
took
it?
Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to like Super Bowl or championship standards, obviously it didn't work out, but it turned.
he was a solid quarterback.
He was a solid quarterback, and it turned the Bengals into, an average to winning football team for a good. 10
all
to
you need
15
in that,
years.
all you need in the NFL is a good quarterback, and if Joe Burrow's as good as he is in college in the NFL, or even like 90% as good.
Yeah, and you know what? If he gets drafted by that team, he's going to walk into a nice receiving situation
Well, I don't think there's any
and
way
a
they
good
keep,
running back.
I don't think there's any way they keep AJ, but Tyler Boyd's a solid receiver. John Ross has shown flashes.
Yeah.
So not the worst situation you'd be in. You can lean on Joe Mixon in the running game, so not the worst landing spot in the world.
So let's go to the
We still have another Saturday game.
last game of Saturday, the 49ers and Rams. Probably the game of Saturday.
That was a very good game.
Rams started off hot, and then what killed them was right before half, Goff's interception, I think.
Goff coughed it up there.
Yeah, so I'm wrong about my Rams playoff prediction.
You took them plus 6.5, though.
I did. It was looking good for them in the beginning of the game, man. I really thought they were. I wasn't.
They were taking it
surprised
to
when
them at the start.
They were. I was kind of nervous in the beginning because I was like, how is San Fran gonna lose to the Rams right now? Like, there's no way.
I could have saw it.
It was looking really bad at the start.
But then they got things going, and slowly but surely, once you get George Kittle involved, they have a chance to win the game.
Got to do it.
George Kittle is the best tight end I've ever seen. He is the greatest tight end I've ever seen. He's gonna go down in history as the greatest tight end.
It's a hot take.
It's a hot take.
As a Patriots fan.
That's why we have
As a
fun here.
Patriots fan.
I just can't. I can't be saying that.
He'll never pass Gronk, but I mean, Gronk was with Tom Brady during an incredible run and got 3 Super Bowls. Like, that's so hard to do when you're in a.
Yeah, but also I
Not
feel
in that.
like if I look up a Gronk highlight video, sometimes I feel like I'm just watching Tom Brady highlights. Because obviously,
yeah, I mean,
the way
it's-
Rob just like runs people
it's
over.
yin and yang.
I don't know about that.
Tom like
I don't know about that.
Tom just knew where to put it for Gronk.
Okay, but
Only in the place where Gronk could get it.
at the same time, how many highlights does he have of him just running over like 17 guys on his way to the end zone? Like a lot.
Oh, there's a lot of that, but I mean, come on now. You look up a full video on
I'm not
that.
saying
That's just you're just seeing dimes from Tom.
It's a lot of both of them, I would say. But anyway, we're not.
I hope that George stays healthier. Like, I hope that he doesn't get as banged up as Gronk.
Well, I mean, when you play that physical, you're gonna have injuries. So
and George plays
as physical
as you possibly can, but at the tight end position, it's kind of hard not to. Like, I think Travis Kelce,
especially in today's NFL.
Travis Kelce's been able to do it at a high level. Zach Ertz has been able to do it. Hell, even Jason Witten's been able to do it, and look at what he's doing. So,
Ertz isn't as much of a physical guy, though. Like, nowhere near Kittle when it comes to the physicality.
No, I think Kittle has all of them beat in physicality-wise. But
Absolutely.
I'm really all in on the 49ers right now.
I think a lot of what George Kittle's game is the run blocking and how they're able to get Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman 100-yard carries or 100-yard games and get all these carries. It's a credit to him because of his run blocking, which goes unnoticed, obviously.
And with the Niners, it's basically, you look at the 2 halves of the season. Their start, everything's defense. Their incredible defense is carrying them, and then it seems
Lately
like
it's been
this.
the
Yeah, the
offense.
next half, they're scoring 30 a game.
which is scary for them in the playoffs.
That's why I'm buying into them right now, only because like I trust Kyle Shanahan as an offensive play caller. Like Robert Saleh has been great in calling plays in the defense. Like, you know, their defense is talented enough to win them games. Where at the same time as if they go down 14-3 or 14-10 or whatever they were down, they've shown a propensity that they're able to come back from that. So I think they really have the fortitude to go far in the playoffs.
in these high-scoring games, too. Like,
They
you
can
look
play
at the 48-45 win against the Saints.
They can play high scoring and they can play low scoring. They can play how you want to play. So it's just a matter of, you know, putting it all together when the time comes. So I feel good about San Francisco going far in the playoffs, honestly.
Likewise.
Same. I mean, you have them as a pick to go to the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Right now, for a while, I thought it's going to be Brady versus his understudy. I think that's what it's going to turn out to be.
The narrative will be.
Yeah, in Miami.
And, like, I don't know, man. Like, if the Patriots and San Fran played right now, like, San Fran's winning by, like, 15. That's just what I think.
I think
You say if the Patriots play San Francisco?
Yeah. I think San Francisco would have a great chance of winning. I don't know that it could be a blowout, though. The Patriots always love playing close games, so it would definitely be a good game, though.
So hopefully that does happen because I would be excited to see that.
There's a couple matchups I'd rather
I'm
see.
still
than that, but
unsure
be fun.
if the Patriots can make the Super Bowl or not. But again, we can't even talk about this anymore because it's like it's the same old story. We've been over this so many times that
We got to see.
You say that, and then we say, well, they do it every year.
We got to.
I've been alive for 20 years, and this run has been going on for 20 years, and it's the same every single year. It is carbon copies, especially the last 10 years.
Yep.
It is just carbon copy year after year after year. So you know what? I'm done trying to make predictions on it. I don't fucking know anymore.
We also got to just see like who they end up playing too, because you never know. Like Tennessee might be Kansas City or whoever gets in. Like you never know.
You bring up Kansas City though.
It all comes down to whoever can bump off the Ravens. If someone can bump off the Ravens before the Patriots meet them,
I don't think that's happening.
You bring up Kansas
that's the
City.
only way that's a surefire chance.
Kansas City just brought in Terrell Suggs.
Yeah,
he's an old player, but I mean, what he could mean to a defense and his experience unmatched. Also, Kansas City's scoring defense. No team has a better scoring defense since week 11.
Weeks,
yeah, I was heavily doubting them, and I've been very surprised. I mean, in the beginning of the season, everyone's gripe with them was their defense was so bad.
Played another great one Sunday night against Chicago.
Yeah,
I mean, not like it's hard to play. I'm not gonna say it's not hard to play defense against Chicago, but you're playing against Mitchell Trubisky, so
right.
Over the past 5-6 weeks, I'd say, oh god, what was that?
I don't know.
Probably only Baltimore's winning or not winning better, playing better.
You all right?
Antonio's having a stroke.
He had mouth diarrhea.
So let's move to Sunday then.
Your favorite Tennessee was not able to capture a W against.
That's right. And I thought for a while there that Tennessee was pulling it out. They were up
14-0 to start the game.
14-0, and then they were up 14-10 for a while. And then at the end, it
fell apart.
Yeah, the doors flew off in that game, and everyone started scoring like crazy.
What a great win for the Saints, though.
I mean, especially after a Monday night game where Drew Brees breaks the record, and Michael Thomas is one touch or whatever, however many touches away he was from passing Marvin Harrison. I felt like
he was 9 away.
Yeah, something like that.
Or was it 11? I think it might have been 11.
That's a great win. A win like that's great to pick up when you're about to go into the playoffs.
It just feels like they were in a bad spot, and if they lost that game, I don't think anyone would have really had a problem with it. But they still were able to come out with the win.
Yeah, that was it. He was 11 away, and he ended up getting 12.
I thought he got 13.
That's wild.
Yeah, been playing as good as you can play as a receiver all year.
And again, like it really just doesn't matter what the defense is throwing at him. He can just get open. And it's so unbelievable that like when the teams have their meetings like the week before and they're going into practice, that their one thing that they say is we have to contain Michael Thomas and not let him beat us.
Mm-hmm.
But he continues to do it.
I mean, it's hard to guard him. The only way you're taking him out of a game is
can't guard Mike.
Yeah, can't guard Mike. You really have to double team him if you want to take him out of the game, and at that point, that leaves like Kamara single covered or Jared Cook or someone else. So.
And what are we at? 145 catches, right?
Yep.
That's split that in half. It's 2 good receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's crazy that he broke that record, and he still has 1 game to go. And do they count the postseason, or is it just a regular
season?
But they still have 1 game to go, and he's averaging 8 a game.
He should easily get to like 153, 155, something.
I mean, he catches 11 or 12 every week. So yeah, over 150 is very realistic.
And they're playing the Panthers next week, so it's like
not like they're really facing anyone.
Yeah, they're not facing anything too crazy.
I don't know. Just overall great season for him. I wish I drafted him in fantasy, but I don't think I had him in any league. So
it was nice to have him in fantasy until I got knocked out. He had like 36 last week. Didn't matter.
Always disappointing.
I had him in our class fantasy league, which was nice.
Did.
I had him
you
and
didn't
Mike
do much
Evans.
in that though.
What?
Our class fantasy league.
Yeah, whatever.
Your favorite team got the overtime one against Washington.
Yeah, man. Damn, Daniel Jones threw 5 touchdowns. How about that?
You talk about really running up the score for 2 shitty teams. This was really running up the score. They had 76 combined points. That's insanity for those 2 teams.
Yeah.
Then again, no one on those teams wants to play defense either, though.
I give Sal credit because Sal was the one that was adamant that the Giants were winning this game.
I really like the Giants because I thought Eli was playing. I was like,
yeah. Well, when it was announced that Jones was the starter, we got a text from Sal. It said, I don't know about the Giants now.
I still, if I gun to my head, I would have taken the Giants, but it wasn't like I was as balls to the wall when Jones got announced in. At the same time, though, the Giants are easily a better team than Washington. So
absolutely.
So they should beat Washington.
Also, Dwayne Haskins got hurt too.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Dwayne Haskins was playing really good in this game until he did get hurt.
He's been playing really well the past few weeks, and I think
the coaching staff change definitely has helped him.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to prove a lot of people wrong, because a lot of people are saying that he wasn't ready and he's just not built to be a quarterback in the NFL. But I think he's starting to figure it out.
Yeah, with I mean, I'm assuming the Redskins are actually gonna try and make intelligent decisions this offseason when it comes to coaching and everyone else on that staff. And if he can have a whole offseason and training camp with a group of head coaches that's there from the start that he actually likes, and that
they can develop, some sort of consistency, that would be amazing.
Exactly. Then you're looking at 4 teams in the NFC East that all have franchise quarterbacks.
Jets, Jets.
Yep.
I kind of had a weird feeling about that game. I told you guys you really want to bet Duck Hodges as a road.
That's
favorite.
a weird one.
Yeah. Nope. I think the Jets were always winning that game.
It just didn't feel like everyone was on the Steelers just because they said, "Oh, the Steelers have to win because of the playoffs and this and that and blah blah blah." It's just like
they still don't have a really good team.
At the same time, like they have a great defense, but on offense they just don't move the ball. They can't. Like they're as bad as the Bears' offense is. That's like
if not worse.
It just seems like either quarterback they put in there isn't helping.
Well, you got your hands tied. Like obviously you thought Ben was going to be there, and even without Ben, like Mason Rudolph wasn't ready, and then like where did Duck Hodges even come from? So it's like I don't know what you're supposed to expect with them. Oh, did Stephon Diggs just get hurt? He might have. That didn't look too good.
He's slow to get up.
He's fine.
Oh, he's good.
Just a different landing.
Anyway, yeah, no, it was a good performance from the Jets. For once, surprisingly.
They're so up and down.
Their offensive line's absolutely terrible.
A lot of parts of their team are really terrible, but somehow
they might have the worst offensive line in the league.
Somehow they just end up getting wins some weeks.
Yeah, I didn't realize until this week that they're 6-9. That was their 6th win. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Weren't they just like 3-8,
3-7? They won like 4 games in a row or 3 games in a row at one point. So I don't know. They're sneaky.
Yeah, whatever. They can have fun going.
They're so 10. Sneaky.
Lamar sealed his MVP case, I would say too, in that win against the Browns. Started off slow, but they got it together. And
we were all on the Browns last week too, except for Nolan.
Yeah, I said that the Ravens would blow them out. And I took them in my pick 3.
It took me way too long this season to figure out that the Ravens just beat up on shitty teams, and the Browns are a shitty team. So every week it's just like that.
Sometimes they're off to a slow start, but by the time the second quarter, like they're so quick hitting, it's kind of like the Chiefs of last year, where like they could score 20 points in like a minute and a half, and you're like, wow, dude. What happened? And I think like this was sort of the case this week. Like the Browns went up 7-0, 6-0. They missed the extra point, and then you're like, wow, the Ravens are like starting really slow. Then it was 7-6, I think, at halftime, and then they come out in the second half and absolutely just shit on the Browns.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the whole Baker Mayfield thing after
flipping off the crowd,
and like they just looked defeated, bro. And like I don't understand like how Baker Mayfield continues to be like that when everyone just keeps saying, "Why are you so immature? Why are you this?"
This is who I am. I'm not gonna stop being who I am.
He really is just proving everyone right about what they've all been saying about him the whole time.
And it sucks because he played so well last year, showed so much promise.
Odell's gone.
This is how the season ends.
I would.
Oh yeah, he wants out.
I would almost guarantee that. I would be surprised if Jarvis is gone, but I would almost guarantee that they trade Odell, even if it's for 40 cents on the dollar. They're still gonna trade him.
And I know like when that whole like thing came out, and like he said something to the Pittsburgh sideline, like "come get me," and then he came out and said that was false. Like, bro, we know you want out of there.
It's fairly obvious that he wants out of there, I would say.
I mean, yeah, and the Browns season
and you know what? I give him a lot of credit because he's not being as much of a diva as he was in the past about it. He's not making it obvious that he wants out of there. We just assume that he wants out of there based on the way the team is. But
what was really the only thing crazy that happened with Odell this year? The watch thing in week 2 against the Jets.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That wasn't even like overly like everyone was kind of like, dude, come on, like that was just
something
like
everyone
just shrugged off. Yeah, So
it really should be their. I think I said this last week too. It really should be their wild card spot, not Pittsburgh or Tennessee. Like they.
100%.
It's just.
But their
I
season
think Tennessee is a way better team, well-run team.
Oh, definitely.
100%.
If you talked about it before the season, you would not say Tennessee. And it's funny foreshadowing too.
All the players are behind Vrabel too.
You love talking when I'm about to talk. I'm just kidding. The first week of the season, he was like, "What?" First week of the season, what do you call it? Tennessee played Cleveland, so it was just funny foreshadowing that it ended up being Cleveland, and then Tennessee at the end is probably going to make it if I had to guess.
You think so?
I think they beat. I would think they beat Houston this week. I know Houston says they're playing their starters, but I don't see. They have no reason to do anything.
Tennessee is -5.5.
I don't see why they would play their starters and go for it though. They can't move any spot.
That tells me though that they're not going to play their starters, because why is Tennessee a -5.5 favorite on the road after they just lost to the Texans 2 weeks ago?
They probably play them for a half or for like a quarter or for a couple drives, but I don't think they play the whole game. So
I mean, it's still early. If Texans come out and say they're not playing their starters, then obviously the line's going to change.
I mean, unless they want to gift them the playoff spot.
By all means, yeah.
Like, I mean, if that's what their attitude is going into the game, then they should definitely just announce that they're not playing their starters.
Yeah, just a lost season from Cleveland.
It starts with being the most hyped team in the league, ends with your wide receivers yelling at your head coach and your quarterback, flipping everyone off.
Myles Garrett hitting someone over the head with his helmet.
Oh, yeah, there was that too.
The grossest line of the week was the Atlanta line, where they were favored by 7.5, and they ended up covering against Jacksonville.
We did say that they were gonna win though.
We did say that they were gonna win.
5-2 in their last 7.
7.5 seemed like a ridiculous number to lay with Atlanta, but
I think I took Atlanta.
I think Jacksonville.
I was just done with Jacksonville.
They flatlined.
Speaking about a lost season, their season really just went in the toilet. They had Minshew mania for a couple weeks, and after that, it kind of just went away.
Well, I mean,
them and the Panthers.
Yep.
when you go all in on Nick Foles and you expect him to be what he was,
it just never felt like that was gonna work out. Like, you really thought Nick Foles was gonna recapture what he did for a month or for 6 weeks.
With Nick Foles, it only works when he goes to a good
Philadelphia.
team. Like, it only works when he goes to a good team and he competes against a really good quarterback and ends up winning the job. And he did the same thing to Michael Vick.
Yeah.
What was it, Atlanta? Or was it...
No.
Was it Philly?
I think it was Philly.
Where Michael Vick got hurt.
Vick was in Philly.
And Nick Foles came in and took him to the playoffs. Like, Nick Foles did the same thing. And then he goes and then takes over for Carson Wentz in week 15 or 16 whenever Carson went down, and then goes and wins the Super Bowl. Like, it was a marvelous run for like a really good team. So it only works when he's on a good team and takes over for a really good quarterback. Like first round pick Carson Wentz or Hall of Famer Michael Vick. Not Blake Bortles.
Yeah, there's not much more to say about either of these teams, honestly. They both kind of disappointed this year. So, I mean, we talked a lot about Atlanta on the podcast.
And a little foreshadowing for later. Are you going to be torn about the pick between Tampa and Atlanta now?
I'm taking Tampa. I always take. There's no not taking.
He
Tampa
was a little
podcast.
torn about it.
We got to ride with Tampa. I might even put them in my pick 3 just because it's the last week.
All right, we'll get to it later. Let's keep going.
Indy and Carolina, 2 punt returns for a touchdown. Other than that, pretty.
Yeah, I was completely wrong about that game.
Disgusting, yeah.
So was I.
I don't remember who I took, but at the same time, it doesn't even matter.
What's fun about
it? I think you said the Colts.
What's fun about picking the Colts? Like, that's why I took the Panthers.
What was the point of playing this game? Just
no point.
We'll see you next week. Like, don't even worry about it. Let's see.
Oh, Denver covered.
Denver covered.
Got me again.
I'm shocked about that game. Another line which I didn't think made sense, but they also covered the 8 or 7.5 wherever it landed before the game.
I mean, we talk about the Jaguars, the Lions.
They have flatline too.
Flatlined. I think just Matt Stafford.
That Monday night game against the Packers ruined them for the rest of the season. That really
they
just
were 3-3-1 at one point, right?
And they've lost 7 in a row.
They came out really hot.
No, they've lost 8 in a row.
8 now.
I think just Matthew Stafford going out really just.
Well, yeah, when you lose your starting quarterback, it's kind of hard. So I don't blame them for that.
they have some promise. I mean, I know we keep saying that, but like
they have an above average group of receivers. Everyone feels
they're gonna keep working on it.
I feel like everyone feels differently about Carey.
Another
building the
draft,
team.
yeah. Another year of Patricia. We'll see how it goes. Oakland won outright as a 7.5 point favorite. That's another line that
Still alive. Oakland Raiders still alive.
I know Oakland needs a couple things to happen this week, but they have an outside chance of a playoff spot.
I'd be so happy if they made it in.
That would be insane if they made it until playoffs.
Yep, they need Tennessee and Pittsburgh.
Just because I'm such a John Gruden guy.
Colts to win.
I like Derek Carr too. And
Derek Carr's a good guy.
Despite all the things that have gone wrong for them this season, he's played very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like his numbers are, like his completion percentages through the roof this year.
They've definitely come together.
And you look at his receiving core, like you would think like
there's not really anyone. I mean, you got Waller, and Waller's played good this year, but other than that, like not too many standouts. Definitely, Renfrow had a good game. He caught a long touchdown. Other than that, not too much going on with Oakland, especially with Jacobs out too. You don't really have too many offensive weapons.
And I think like wide receiver yards like throughout the whole season, Oakland ranks like one of the last.
Yeah.
So I mean, even that, like it just tells you that they're doing a lot of check downs and a lot of out routes 5 yards,
which you kind of have to with Derek Carr as the quarterback.
So that's probably why his completion percentage is so high. But I mean, he's throwing 20 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Like that's really good for a team that's wasn't expected to be much, especially after Antonio Brown left. Like no one expected them to do anything after that. So the fact that they're even have a shot to be in the playoffs is incredible.
Definitely. I think the most surprising outcome all of Sunday was Arizona winning outright against Seattle.
Yeah, which we kind of hinted at last week when you said a couple years ago when they went up to Seattle and ended up winning.
I just don't understand how I don't see that coming. I had Seattle on my pick 3. Was I not thinking about how every time Seattle's good, they always drop a game to Arizona?
It's not like it was a bad pitch. It's just like, I don't know. Arizona's been kind of dead in the water for a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to put myself in me from last week's shoes. Did that not cross my mind at all?
I guess not. If you took
How?
Your pick
I mean,
three.
he did. Like, I remember, he did say it. Sal did bring it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I probably brought it up then at some point and just didn't care.
I definitely did say it, so I would think you.
What was weird about it though is that Arizona looked really good and Seattle looked really bad.
Oh yeah, you know what? Chris Carson's out for the rest of the season now too. That sucks.
Marshawn Lynch, baby.
Marshawn Lynch is coming back. That's crazy to me.
He's taking his physical right now, so nothing definite, but it's sounding like he's gonna be there.
Which I mean,
I'm bummed about Carson, man.
Yeah, me too. Because what happened to Rashad Penny?
He's hurt.
He's hurt too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Yeah. So I mean, bringing Marshawn Lynch back is definitely just like what Adam Schefter was saying in the halftime show, that it's just a boost to your team. Bringing a guy like that back who is a legend in Seattle will obviously boost the locker room and get everyone's get everyone pumped up. But at the same time, if he comes in on a 3rd and 1 and just classic Marshawn Lynch style beast mode,
mm-hmm.
I would be hyped up if I was a Seattle fan and Marshawn Lynch was coming back.
Definitely.
I don't think you lose the ability to, run people over. You lose speed,
nope.
but
and I
you
bet
don't lose
he's
the weight.
Still in the shape that he was when he left. I mean, when did he retire? Was it 2 years ago in Oakland?
He played last year.
Yeah, he was with the Raiders,
and then
and then just left.
Yep.
It's been 4 years since he's been in Seattle.
3.
So
but yeah, it should be interesting seeing them. They definitely were looking ahead to this week to San Francisco, but that'll be a great game on Sunday night to watch.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to hit this Chicago game before we go to Philly and Dallas?
I mean, not too.
There's not too much to talk about, really.
I mean, we kind of already talked about it, but Mahomes had a great game. Chicago's offense always does nothing, and yet again they did nothing, and Kansas City's defense has improved. So I think it was a great performance by Kansas City, but you'd expect nothing less going against kind of a hopeless Chicago team.
Well said.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to watch Chicago play football. I can't watch it most of the time. especially in that game. I shut it off after the first quarter. I was like, this is over.
Yeah. And then we got...
we knew what that was going to be. But
we got the Battle of the NFC, which ended up going to...
Couldn't watch this game either, to be
Philadelphia.
honest with you.
This was a really
so
bad
good.
game. And Dallas had every opportunity to win the game, too, and they just did not take advantage of it.
And now, like, the story is that everyone's overreacting about how good the Philly is.
Which is not true. They're going to get trounced
This
in the playoffs.
This was two really bad teams, and one team just had to win.
I could see whoever...
I don't know how Dallas doesn't win.
I could see whoever has to end up playing Philadelphia in the playoffs to be like a really low-scoring game, but the team that comes in is definitely beating them. Oh, no, they're going to go on the road. Oh.
No, they're going to be...
No, they're going to be at home.
Oh, they are going to
They
be
get
at
a home
home.
game.
Oh,
if
yeah.
they win.
It's going to be like...
It's going to be... It's going to be...
It's going to be like 16-10 or like 16-8 or something weird.
It'll be probably
most likely
either one of these.
Minnesota and Philly.
Wow, a rematch of the NFC title game a couple years ago.
It wouldn't be much of a rematch. Two different quarterbacks,
I would think Minnesota would win.
two different teams. Like, I don't know. It wouldn't be much of a rematch of that game, but I could see why they'd hype it up that way.
Yeah, it's two different
Minnesota.
starting quarterbacks.
Well, it would finally get the monkey off of Kirk's back if he could win that game. Well, it is all depending on this game right now too, so we don't really know too much.
But
yet.
here's the thing: I could so easily see Kirk going in there and losing.
Oh yeah, it's Kirk Cousins. I can see him losing any game.
We hate Kirk Cousins.
Just not good. Just not good at all.
Proving to be not good here in this game right now.
But yeah, Dallas really talk about disappointing seasons. Dallas is probably the most out of any of them.
Yeah, a team with a really dynamic set of offensive players goes into Philadelphia, scores 9 points, and Philadelphia, who has no offensive players except for Miles Sanders, who's been really good, and Carson Wentz, who has made well with what he has.
I just can't believe that they really made Dak throw that many times. Like, you're going to have him throw 40-plus times when he has a sprained AC joint or whatever AC joint injury he had, and you have Zeke, who's doing nothing, getting paid that much money. Everything there just feels backwards.
They want to throw it so bad. They love throwing the ball.
It just makes no sense.
I think Kellen Moore deserves a little bit of flack for that performance. He has not done well the past few weeks calling the offense.
And he was a hot shot there in Dallas in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
When Dak looked really good.
Yeah.
So I've been watching Dallas play now, and I've had a theory about them. And it was just something in my mind. I was just like, I feel like I know why Dallas is losing all these games. So I went back and I looked at it, and it's the first quarter. Here's their average points in the first quarter this year. 4.1 points.
Ooh.
It's awful.
They are 3-6 when trailing after the first quarter. Their point differential is minus 18 in the first quarter. So they just love going and getting to slow starts, and they just cannot get anything going in the first quarter. And I've seen
catch-up
that.
isn't a way to win football games.
I've seen that the past few games, and it's just so that game against who was it? Green Bay that they it was a close game towards the end. They were down 14 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So when you're
Constantly playing from behind.
and I talk about that a lot, but with Dallas, I just feel like they're so dominant when they play from ahead because they have Zeke and because they have that offensive line that they can just control the clock.
The best in football.
I just don't understand how they can't figure out how to play from behind in the first quarter.
Part of it, too, is you got to get off to a fast start, and Jason Garrett's not really motivating anyone. So,
and I think that's been some of the narrative, too, is that Jason Garrett is just not a motivator in the locker room, which I could totally see. He doesn't look like he could pump up a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
He gives post-game locker room talks.
yeah.
Do they give a game ball?
Try and picture it. Can you see Jason Garrett in that locker room with all the players around him?
No.
It's like when you're playing youth football and your dad's the coach.
I'm telling you guys, Ron Rivera would be perfect there. I said it the other week, but Ron Rivera, that is like they need like a hard ass in there.
This is gonna be a pretty interesting football offseason. I'm really interested in who's going to be the Cowboys head coach. Hopefully they pick a loser.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln Riley ends up there.
Oh, I hope
Didn't
not.
they say it? Who's
Urban Meyer?
Urban Meyer.
I would hate that.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
No, that would be bad. He would be really
You
bad.
think so?
Good.
He would be.
Whoever's
really
bad is a good thing for Dallas.
It's just typical Dallas.
I don't know. It comes down to
that'll
if
be
Jerry
fun to see.
Jones is,
Jerry will be like, wow, we got a college coach coming in just like Jimmy Johnson. Give me Urban Meyer.
Yep.
I think as long as Jerry Jones is that controlling of his football team, Dallas is going to struggle. They need help at coaching, and Jerry Jones needs to loosen up the reins a little bit.
Which will never happen.
Whoever the next coach is next year when they come in needs to be someone who can run the team without Jerry Jones in his ear every single week.
And if Jerry Jones is up his ass all the time, speak out about it.
It needs to be someone who can go back at Jerry Jones and say, "No, let me run this team, and you shut up and go back to your helicopter and go back home," because that's just what he needs.
Why do you think Parcells didn't last very long there? There you
He's
go.
too big of a personality. Too big of
Someone who had control over the whole roster.
Yeah, no, he's being so stubborn, and he just wants to win so bad. But the reason why they're not winning is because you're so controlling. So I don't know. That was just my theory on the Cowboys. I went back and I pulled up some stats by myself, so I just wanted to share it with everybody.
I definitely think that is a huge factor in their inability to win games. So
yeah, just the next time you're watching Dallas and they go down in the first quarter, just know that statistically it's not a very good chance that they're going to win.
Well, they play Washington this week. They are at home, apparently. So 10.5 is the line for that game. I definitely would take Dallas in that game. I know,
but I could see the Redskins covering that.
I don't think they cover it. I think Washington's just ready for the season to be over, especially after
we said that last week, and then they went into overtime with the Giants.
I don't know. I'm still sticking to that. They don't want to play it this week. What incentive do they have to do to
It's
Dallas?
different too if Dwayne Haskins is going to be out.
He is out.
Yeah, he's out.
So I take Dallas then. If Dwayne Haskins was playing, it's a different story.
Are we getting this out of the way here now?
Yeah, we're starting. Because that was the last game.
That was the last game.
Dallas is dead.
Oh.
Give me Washington.
Okay. So you think Case Keenum is going to... You're
I
taking
think
Case
so.
Keenum over Dak Prescott.
Sure.
Okay. Alrighty then. Team of the podcast. Reaction. Tampa Bay at home against Atlanta.
Yeah,
the line is whoever wins. No spread.
Yeah, it's even. Give me Tampa Bay.
Tampa's
all
right.
At
the
home.
only thing is, Tampa Bay wants to be 8-8 really bad, and Atlanta wants to be 6-10 really bad, and that's what would happen if Tampa Bay won this game.
Yeah, no, and I don't recall Jameis ever having two really back-to-back really bad games. He always comes back the next week and throws 5 touchdowns and 450 yards. So
I like Tampa.
I could so see that happening this week. And
like I said last week, I don't love Tampa at home. I feel like Tampa at home doesn't play as good as Tampa on the road. But give me Tampa.
I mean, they were at home this week and they lost, so I guess there's some merit to that. But I feel like Tampa Bay is so unpredictable. That's why we love them so much.
They're up and then they're down.
That's why we love them.
They're picked 6 and they're the best throw you've ever seen. Antonio?
I can't do it. I got to take the Buccaneers. I wanted to take the Falcons so bad, but Tampa.
All right.
You have
I don't want to do that.
You have to pick Tampa,
After Jameis throwing 4 picks last week, I don't want to do that.
But you love Tampa.
It's not like it costs to do. You got to push. It's like you didn't even make a pick at that point.
All right, let's move on.
So I want to talk about the Jets versus the Bills.
Yuck.
Buffalo is only a 1.5 favorite.
They have nothing to play for.
Yeah,
at
they
home.
have the
so
5
what?
spot locked
They're
up.
also not playing.
They might sit. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I think that's
that's the only reason why then.
That's kind of Vegas just hedging their bet in case they do sit for a half or something. I would definitely go with the Jets in that game, only in the fact that they love splitting games, and the road team always loves winning those games.
The Jets love Week 17 when it doesn't matter too.
So I'm gonna go with the Jets in that game.
I do like all those points, but I'm taking the Bills.
Last time these two teams met up in Week 17, it was the Jets, and it wasn't close. And it was a few really ugly plays for the Bills.
I think the Bills this year are a little different.
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be resting all their starters, so I'm gonna take the Jets.
But I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like their defense is way too good going against that Jets team.
I know it's gonna look nice in the sidelines.
All right, the other NFC matchup: Philly -4.5 at the Eagles. I mean, Dallas obviously needs the Giants to win this game, but I don't see any situation where that.
You just said Philly.
Or Philly at Giants.
You said Philly.
Philly
at the
really
Eagles.
needs the
at the
Giants to
Eagles.
win this game.
No, he said Philly at the Eagles.
Philly at the Giants. Dallas really needs the Giants to win this game, which I don't think is any realistic.
I could so see the Giants winning this game, though.
I couldn't.
Me too, but I'm not gonna pick them.
I'm gonna pick the Giants. I've been going against the Eagles this whole year, so
I'm gonna take the Eagles 4.5.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles 4.5 too. This is kind of perfect situation for the Eagles too, because the Giants secondary is made of traffic cones and the Eagles don't have receivers, so that kind of works out in favor for them. Yeah, give me the Eagles.
All right. Miami is +15.5 traveling to New England this week. I don't know in what right mind you could take Miami in this game, but I'm guessing there are people that will bet that. But that is definitely
that they are getting a lot of points.
Yeah, and the Patriots can't just rest all their guys this weekend either, because
they're playing
Kansas
to
City's
win,
right there.
And the Patriots are always shaky the last game of the season against Miami.
I'm taking
Not this time.
I'm taking New England. I
Not
think
this time. Yeah, I'm taking New England.
Any.
But like, here's the thing: I'm gonna be so pissed if it's 14-0 and that ends the game 14-0. Like, I'm gonna be so pissed.
I think they score more than 14.
Okay.
I think it's like 28-7 or something.
Okay.
Minnesota -7 is the opening line, but it could change depending on what happens in this game. They're at home against the Bears. I would definitely take the Bears.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking the Bears?
Yeah, I would definitely take the Bears.
For the points?
That's way too many points.
7?
Yeah. If that is the line, then I'm definitely taking the Bears, and that might be a pick 3 too.
Yeah, what am I watching right now? Give me the Bears.
I don't know, man. I mean, is Dalvin still going to be out?
Dalvin is probably going to be out if I had to guess, but I can't say definitely he's going to be out. That just feels like a 17-14 game, just like a very low-scoring, close game. So that's obviously why I would take the points +7.
I'm taking the Vikings.
All right. Green Bay -10 at Detroit.
I'm fine with the Packers.
Right? Like,
This is gross.
Detroit doesn't want to. I don't think Detroit wants to put up a fight either. Like, what does Detroit care about this game? It's not like they're stopping Green Bay from making the playoffs, just they're already in the playoffs, and they probably already won the division after. So, I don't know. I'm gonna take Green Bay.
This is depressing.
Yeah, it's just
I feel like everything. Yeah, this
It's just-
team doesn't need this. This team's resting their
If
guys.
they wrap up the division in this game, would it matter if they play against?
just they're playing for the number one seed,
seeding.
I think.
Jeez, dude, I don't know. The fact that like all the NFC teams is going to come down to week 17 is actually kind of exciting to me.
Yeah, normally a lot of like spots are locked up, and it's only like one or two teams, but there could be a lot of movement depending on what happens this week.
That's
Yeah,
why
man,
the
the
AFC
conference
is
is
so
crazy.
boring. That's why the AFC is so boring this
So
year.
it's always top heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Green Bay -10 just because I would not want to bet on David Blau in the last game of the season.
No, I'm taking Green Bay too.
Indy at Jacksonville. I'm only going to take Indy because of Oakland. I hope Oakland gets in, but Indy is -3.5 at Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Indy, so like I'm obviously going to take Indy. I'm not trying to root against them if I think if I want them to win. I'm not going to take the opposite, but yeah, I want Indy to win because if Oakland gets in, like I would love that.
That would be an amazing story that Gruden turned it all around in 2 years just to get them in the playoffs. So I would be pretty impressed
And
with
that
that,
10-year, $100 million is going to look real good.
especially with them going to Vegas next year.
Oh, yeah, they're going to look real good in Vegas. That's going to be sexy.
I'm all set with Jacksonville, so I'm on board with the Colts too.
We got the dumpster fire Cleveland Browns -2.5 at Cincinnati. I might actually take Cincinnati.
I was going to say, I kind of want to take Cincinnati just for fun.
I want to take Cincinnati just because it's 2.5.
right, and it's not 3.
And it's not 3.
Yeah.
I mean, on mine it's 3, but I'm going to go with yours just because it's 2.5. So I want to take Cincinnati.
We're gonna
want to
go
win.
around the Bengals, huh?
They want to win this game so bad.
You cannot trust Cleveland right now. No. I just don't think you can do it.
And it's just like so funny because they could easily just win that game.
Nolan, your take on Pittsburgh -2 at Baltimore? Because I think you like Pittsburgh in that game.
No, I like the Ravens in that game, even with the starters not playing.
So if RG3 is in there, you still like Baltimore?
Yep. I think this is.
Oh, if RG3's in there, I love Baltimore.
This is
really.
This is the thing though, because this is RG3's chance to prove to other teams that he can be a starter. So I'm running with that storyline.
Even the Steelers.
I'm taking Pittsburgh in this game. I think they win, and I think they win probably by like 7. If Baltimore's resting, they're just not gonna give it their all.
It's just because I'm rooting for RG3.
The Steelers need this game to make the playoffs, and the Ravens don't need this game for anything. So
yeah, but we said that last week. They needed that game to win the playoffs, and they lost to the Jets. So
yeah, so this is even more on the line here.
Do or die.
Give me Pittsburgh.
I think they're bleeding out right now. That's what's happening.
New Orleans -13 at Carolina. Again, I don't see any reason to bet on Carolina, so definitely give me New Orleans -13.
Yeah, only because all these teams are playing for spots in the top of the NFC still.
I haven't seen a reason to bet on Carolina in about 8 weeks.
Yeah, and the Saints are riding high. They're gonna end on such a high note going into the playoffs, and they're gonna be scary.
Yeah. So I think that's
I think we have another round of Saints.
There's no line for the Rams and the Cardinals right now because Kyler got hurt last week. If it's Kyler's backup, which I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, mine says Rams -7.5.
If Kyler's out, I would say it goes way higher than that. I would say it's like 10.5 to 11.
Yeah,
maybe.
So
if
right now he's just listed as questionable, but obviously it's still way.
We'll
too
just
early.
make up a fake line and we'll say -10. We'll say Rams -10, and we'll say that Kyler's not out.
Oh, then easily the Cardinals.
Easily the Cardinals.
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot of points if Kyler's playing.
No, I'm saying Kyler's out. That's
I
why
thought you said
if he was
No.
playing.
So if he's not playing, yeah, Rams.
I would probably take the Rams -10.
Yeah, I don't know who their backup quarterback is. So
Even though this is just a shit game because neither of these teams are playing for anything, but
is Kenyon Drake the best running back of all time?
Possibly. Just every week he scores.
I think he needed to get out of Miami and go there.
it's a great thing. It's a great thing for your career if you leave Miami.
It's a bad thing for David Johnson.
He's not going to be back there. They're going to cut him.
Might be a good pickup for the
Tampa Bay.
Patriots.
Tampa Bay. I said this last week. I would love to see him in a Bruce Arians offense.
One that doesn't utilize running backs as much.
They throw it to them though, and that's what David's good at.
That's true.
Denver -3.5 at Oakland. Give me Oakland. Oakland's winning.
I think we're all going to end up picking.
Yeah, no,
Oakland
this is one of those weeks. This was me back when they played Kansas City. I'm just on the Oakland train, dude.
Oh god, that didn't work out great that week.
Dude, I don't care. If we're all on it this week, though, it's different because you guys looked at me like I had 4 heads.
That wasn't my favorite pick of all time. I really felt Kansas City was trying to mollywop them that week.
I just wanted.
You just wanted to believe so bad.
I wanted to believe. I'm always looking for rooting for underdogs.
Final game of Week 17.
Wow.
What a way to-
Game of the year.
Game of the year. San Francisco 49ers -3 on the road at the Seattle Seahawks. What a line for that game.
-2.
3.
Oh, 3 for you. Wow.
I
So is it? Wait, you have San Fran -3.
San Fran -3.
Yeah, I love Seattle in this game.
Just because of Lynch being back, because it's just a primetime home game for Seattle.
Primetime home game for Seattle. Lynch coming back. A mixture of all those things. Yeah, I'm kind of torn with this game, though, to be honest with you. But I'm going to go with my initial hunch that I really like Seattle in this game. Because I feel like a lot of times I switch it when I'm really thinking hard about it. And I just got to go with what I think at the beginning. So I'm just going to go with Seattle. I really trust Russell Wilson at home over Jimmy Garoppolo on the road.
I like San Francisco here. Both their main running backs are out. They're not going to be seen in this game. and San Francisco wants the 1 seed. I'm gonna take San Francisco.
I'm very torn on this game. For whatever reason, I just don't think Seattle will be a 5 seed 2 years in a row. As stupid as that sounds, because they were the 5 seed last year. Saying that, I gotta go with San Francisco. I just think
this has been San Francisco's year.
I just feel like that team has been probably the most impressive team out of any team. If you look at the season as a whole, I mean, they do have a couple losses, but at the same time, they're not even that bad of losses. They're to Seattle, and I don't even know who else
they lost to. Seattle. They lost to Baltimore, and they lose a weird one to Atlanta. That's it.
Yeah, so I mean, they had one bad loss.
They got their shit loss out of the way.
So I don't know. I like San Francisco in that game. I think they run the ball. I think they control the game. I think it's a very low-scoring game, as most primetime games are. So I'm gonna go with San Francisco by 7 to 10.
Yeah, why do all these primetime games that look like they're gonna be such good games?
Oh yeah,
this is another.
That's
one.
always how it works out.
Is it still 17-10? I haven't been looking at it.
Yeah, 17-10 Packers right now.
I think everyone thought this game was gonna be 38-35, 30-28. Something like that.
Teams just get tight.
They line up to be.
Yeah.
I guess that's just when good teams face each other. They clash. The offense is just, whatever.
Sputter. All right. What is the pick 3 record?
I was gonna say Nolan, where do we stand here?
All right. So
I had
thought that I went 3-0, and I was really happy, but then I double checked, and San Francisco, it was -6.5, and they ended up winning by 3. So I'm 2-1. That brings me to 18-15. Salvatore.
Oh, the Bengals
went 1-2 because the Bengals broke his heart, and he had Cleveland +10 against Baltimore. So that brings you to 20-13. Great year. And then Antonio, with the gross record of the week, went 1-1-1.
Ew.
Because Tampa Bay pushed.
You have 2 pushes.
Seattle did not cover the 9.5, and Denver covered the -7. So you are 18-13-2.
Yuck.
So, yuck. That brings us to this week.
So I would have to.
Sal has to go first.
I would have to go over, right? In order for one of you to pass me.
Yeah. So I am 2 games behind you.
Antonio.
I think if I tie with you, though.
Yeah, if you tie, then technically you win. So, I don't know. I would still have to go. Or I could win 1. If I won 1 and you won all 3, then we would tie, right?
Yeah. What if we get a 3-way tie somehow? Is that possible?
No, because he would have the 2 pushes, and he would end up winning.
Oh, you're such a moron.
All right. Week 17.
Sal's going first.
Oh, God. These are all so disgusting.
I know. Sucks.
I am going to take, with my first overall pick in the 2019 draft.
Oh, hold on. I think we missed a game.
What game?
Chargers and Chiefs?
Ew.
That's... What do you...
We didn't pick when we were going over the games for this
Chiefs
week.
Next.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Okay. Whoa, wait. No. Phillips playing his last game.
Not in Kansas City. He's going to get rocked.
Bro, I don't care if he's playing his last game.
Fine. You guys can have the Chiefs.
You're taking
the
the
Chargers.
All right. Pick 3. Go ahead.
All right. Pick number 1. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys -10.5. They're going to stomp.
Ooh.
They're going to stomp the Washington Redskins this week.
Okay.
Pick number 2.
Oh, shit, I gotta write these down.
I don't know how Oakland doesn't cover 3.5. I mean, they gotta. I'm taking Oakland. That's number 2. I know Nolan's gonna take Oakland too, but I just don't see any way that they don't cover that game and probably win.
What was your first pick?
My first pick was, who did I say?
Dallas.
Dallas, thank you. So Dallas, Oakland +3.5, and I'm gonna go with San Francisco -3 because I feel like they win the game, and at that point, I think they win by 3. So I'm gonna take San Fran on Sunday night. Mr. Fiore,
Oakland was +3.
3.5.
3.5. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start off with our match. I really like San Francisco -3.
Last time we were on San Fran, they beat Green Bay by 1 million.
Next up. Don't cry. I'm going to take Denver.
Okay. I mean, it's worked for you, so whatever works, you stick with. Are you deciding on the third one?
I am. And it's in one game, too. I'm really unsure about it. Old Reliable.
Tampa?
Yep. Actually, you know what? They didn't. Oh.
You're pump faking me here. What?
They didn't lose. I keep thinking that they lost me last week, but no, it was just a push.
They didn't lose you. They haven't lost you yet.
God, I mean, the Falcons
And
are
it's just
5
a
and
pick,
2
so
in their
you're
last
just rooting
7.
for them to win.
I know.
Falcons want to go 6-10 really bad.
I know, but
Yeah, and the
they want
Bucs
me
want
to
go
take the
8-8
Falcons so bad. Screw it. Give me the Bucks.
There we go.
Bucks are in the pick 3. One last week.
There we go. And are we agreeing that Denver's minus 3.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. So, down to me. Number 1, without the voice crack. I am going the Bills minus 1.5 as my first pick. I know that we're sitting the starters, but this week my theme is whatever team's sitting their starters is going to win. So that brings me to my next one, which I think we probably all know.
Pittsburgh.
No, Baltimore.
The Ravens plus 2. Were you listening to me?
I got that game right.
Yeah, you did. All right, whatever. Ravens plus 2. RG3's leading them to victory. If he is which I think he would be, right? He's the backup. So, and they've already said that Lamar Jackson's sitting. So, and number 3, and I'm really excited about this one. That tends to mean that I'm going to be wrong, but whatever.
Oakland.
Seattle.
Oh.
Plus 2. Or you had 3? So
3.
plus 3. Seattle plus 3.
Going head to head, Nolan.
And you always win. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm stupid. I'm just taking whatever I think is going to happen. So, and I'm not thinking about it. And that tends to be a bad decision.
Hey.
But let's do it.
We'll see on Sunday.
Let's do it, Sal. I love it.
Just as an update, Aaron Jones with a long touchdown but missed extra point after. We got 23-10 in the Green Bay game.
It's late in the fourth quarter, so looking like Green Bay's going to win.
Yeah, it's looking like that line is getting more and more ridiculous.
Which we talked about before, right? That line was 5.5.
5.5. Vikings were favored by, and it looks almost certain that they're not going to cover it.
I didn't care how fishy that sounded. That's just...
I can't believe
it was ridiculous, dude.
I can't believe they made that the line.
Whoever did, I hope got fired.
That was a bad line. Were they not watching the whole season? Like Kirk Cousins on a Monday night team, you can't.
He's 0-8 in Monday Night Football. He's 0-8.
Well, now he's 0-9.
He's 0-9 now. There's 5 minutes left, and they're up by 13. So
11-3 and 10-4, 5.5, not 2.5, not 3.5, 5.5.
It really
Are you kidding me?
It should have been 3, and if they really were feeling at 3.5, it shouldn't have.
He's 7-14 in primetime games. Now he's gonna be 7-15.
Ridiculous.
Sorry, Tyler Klein. Kirk Cousins sucks.
All right, gentlemen.
Till next time.
Last week of the NFL regular season.
I know. I can't wait to get to next week when we find out who takes the title of the pick 3, and then we're gonna have a little special pick 3 for the playoffs.
Playoff talk.
Which
See what happens.
we'll do it next week.
See
you
boys
guys
next
later.
week.
Peace.